we be in such a gathering? And here we're in the gathering of the creator of the world, the creator of the universe, the creator of all things, the one who provides for us. He has invited us to his house. So think how we should be in such a gathering. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's very difficult to explain how much he loves his creation. There's no real words to describe how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves his creation. But in a hadith, just to give us some understanding, it was mentioned that once there was some people presented in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and amongst them people there was a woman there, and she looked quite, you could say, afraid, and she looked quite, worried, and she was looking for a child amongst these people. And this was happening in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then suddenly she found her child, and she embraced the child in such a way. Can you imagine if you're a parent here, if you'd lost your child and you'd seen them, not knowing if you're going to see them again. She embraced the child in such a way, with such love, that the Prophet said to the Sahaba that was sat there, that do you think this woman would ever throw her child in the fire? They go, no, she would never do that, just by the way she embraced that child. And then the Prophet said to this meaning to the Sahaba, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mercy for his slaves are much greater than the love that mother has for a child. So even Allah's love is such that even a mother can't experience it if she had lost a child. That's how much Allah loves you and me. So now the question we need to think is, if Allah Ta'ala loves us that much, then why is it we've not got his closeness yet? Why is it that we've not got sukoon yet? Why is it our lives are not changing regularly? And the same can be asked, that we go to Hajj, Umrah, we sit in front of the Kaaba, we pray, we feel so good there, but we come back and our routine is the same. We come to these gatherings, but our routine is the same. So the question is, what is it? Why are we not changing? And there's one very simple thing which is causing this to happen. You know how, obviously with technology we've advanced so much, but back in the day, if you were going on a journey and you were trying to go and put the radio on, and you wanted to go on a certain frequency, you had to put it in. If you wanted to listen to the news or listen to the football, whatever it is, you had to put it in. So if you're trying to listen to the football, but you've got the wrong frequency, you're not going to hear what's coming out from there. Whatever frequency you're on, that's what you're going to hear. So the football can be going on in the background, but if you're on the wrong frequency, you're not going to hear what's coming out from that frequency. That's like us. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending his mercy, his light on a certain frequency, but you and me are on a different frequency. We're on the frequency of dunya. We're on the frequency of shaitan. We're chasing worldly things. We're chasing money. We're chasing women. We're chasing wealth. We're chasing clothes, whatever it is. So how do we now tune into the frequency of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The mercy is here. Allah Ta'ala is sending us mercy every day. He's descending on us like light every single day. But it's us who are not acting and receiving it. So how do we receive this? It's first and foremost, while we're in this gathering, we should correct our intention that we are here no other than for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should have the right mindset that why we are here. We should know our purpose here, that we're here no other than for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then we should be present. Now you might be thinking, I am present, but many of us, like myself, we're not really present here. You're thinking, how's that? I can see him. We might be present with our body, but we're not present with our mind and our hearts. And this is one of the key reasons why we don't receive the mercy of Allah. Oh, it's coming, but for some reason we're not benefiting from it. So a person can be as close to the Kaaba as he wants, or to Medina Sharif in Masjid Nabwi, as close to the Prophet ﷺ as he wants. But if he's not present with his heart and mind, it doesn't make a difference. But if a person is sat a million miles away, but he's present with his heart and mind, he can still acclaim the closeness of Allah and Rasul ﷺ. So this is how we need to sit in this gathering, with our mind and our heart connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how do we do this? First and foremost, our blessed teacher taught us a very valuable lesson last week about being silent. So one is being silent with our tongues, but also we'll be silent in our mind and in our heart. From what? From that distracts us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remove that right now. The worldly things, work, family. We should remove that. We should silence that from our mind and silence that from our heart. Now we're in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should only be focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the way we do this is, number one, remove all other distractions, remove all other ideas, preconceived ideas, completely remove everything. Be like an empty cup, and we should remember that Allah's watching me, Allah's with me, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hearing me. So we should remember these three keys and keep refreshing these three keys, and this will help us to connect to whatever nasiyah, whatever guidance we are given. And inshallah we should also make intention that we'll act upon whatever has been said to our own effort. And like this we will see a difference in our change in our life. But if we're just going to say idlessly that, oh, I'm in the house of Allah, it's really good, alhamdulillah, you'll get some blessings, but you won't attain maximum benefit. So inshallah now we're just going to have Quran recitation, and then we will have a nasheed recited as well, and then there'll be a short clip, and then the bayan. And after that we'll have dhikr and food as usual. So I'd just like to ask if you could please come to recite.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير وآتينا موسى الكتاب وجعلناه هدى لبني إسرائيل ألا تتخذوا من دوني وكيلا ذرية من حملنا مع نوح إنه كان عبدا شكورا وقضينا إلى بني إسرائيل في الكتاب لتفسدن في الأرض مرتين ولتعلن علوا كبيرا فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاسوا خلال الديار وكان وعدا مفعولا صدق الله. صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وسلم عليك يا Habibullah. As a blinding light she came to us, and just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. Allah, Allah, oh flash of light in the flow of the time, sweet Medina, beloved of mine, I speak with you in broken words with a broken and a broken rhyme. My life is you, my love is you, connection to the Lord above is you, my means to earn His love is you, my cure from distress and dismay. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. As a blinding light you came to us, and just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. Allah, Allah, more generous, there's never been more beautiful, was never seen. I surrender at your doorstep all my dunya and my deen. O one who came to the merciful sight, O him he said, let there be light. Convey my broken hearted plight, that a glance of mercy be cast my way. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. As a blinding light you came to us, and just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. Allah, 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 no eye has seen such beauty as thine, no dame has born such a one so fine. You're created free of flaw, as if by your own design. May the Lord upon you send His peace, salutations, blessings that never cease, and to us a gentle breeze that makes us weep our nights away. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. As a blinding light you came to us, and just as suddenly you went away, the universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi. The universe still resonates with echoes of Sallallahu Alayhi.
Jazakallah for the beautiful Quran recitation and nasheed. Inshallah, now there's just going to be a short video shown to yourselves, and this video is a short clip of our blessed teacher speaking regarding the surah, the ayat Iqra. So one of the first surah revealed to our Prophet ﷺ. So we're going to learn the secret of this surah, why it was revealed in the way it was. And then after that we will have the speech, the bayan, jazakallah.
Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, actually, because this is what we know in Arabic now, when he came, Allah's kalam is uncreated. You understand that Allah's kalam is not created, because Allah's kalam, is his sifa. And our tongues are created. So it's as though Jibreel Islam was saying that read the kalam, which is divine speech, with your created tongue. And the Prophet Islam said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, actually mentioned, because he was not saying anything. Jibreel Islam at that time, he was saying, Iqra, actually. That read. But so he was mentioning to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to read, but not mentioning what he should read and how he should read. He didn't say repeat. Remember, let's say for example, if I say to you, read, you will say what to read. I have nothing to read. If I say repeat after me, Iqra, then you can say. So when he first said read, there was nothing, Jibreel Islam was not speaking. So what would Rasulullah read? He said, there's nothing to read. He again said, Iqra, there's nothing to read. Third time, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Then Rasulullah read that he is meaning to repeat after me. So Iqra means in Arabic read, it doesn't mean repeat. So if I say to you read, will you not say, what shall I read? I can't read, there is nothing to read. So that is, so when he said Iqra, but he was meaning that actually that to repeat. But he didn't say beforehand that what I am going to say, you shall repeat. So he was straightforwardly said Iqra, and the Prophet said, Ma ana biqari, that I cannot read, there is nothing to read. So when it was made clear that he is to repeat after Jibreel, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, he actually repeated that. So yeah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Anbiya wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'du, fa'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Shahru Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Qur'an hudan lin-nas, sadaqallahul azim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Mawlana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. We begin by praising Allah Azza wa Jal, the Exalted, the Sublime, the Supreme, and we beseech Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower His blessings and peace and salutation upon the best of creation, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his family, upon the companions, upon the Ahlul Bayt, and upon all the Sahaba, all the Tabi'een, Tabi'een, and upon all the awliya and Salihin, especially upon our Mashayikh of Tariqat al-Muhammadiyya khususan, upon our beloved teacher, grand teacher, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz al-Dabbagh, rahimullah, and upon Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jilani, rahimullah, and upon Sayyidina Ahmad Khidr, and all the other Mashayikh, and especially upon our beloved teacher, Sayyidina Ahmad Dabbagh, which you just heard, giving us insight of the wisdom of the revealing of when the first revelation came and the incident between Sayyidina Jibreel and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and how this is the wisdom and beauty of awliya and salihin. Ilm and knowledge, people will ilm knowledge, ulamas, they'll discuss about words. So they'll give you dalail through words, i.e. The Jibreel grabbed and he said, Iqra, and Rasulullah will say, Ma ana biqarin, and they'll say, oh, because of this, because he wasn't able to read and write, he's unlettered. And that is through their analogy, and that is through the ijtihad, that's how they were. But people of insight, people of ma'rifah and gunasness, they are able to tell us and inform us in a way in which your heart becomes mutba'in with that interpretation. That is a beauty, a quality that Sayyidina Abdul Zabarullah and especially our beloved teacher, when they will say, you'll hear all these brothers, you ask this, all these brothers, is that once you ask a question to them, then it's as if all doubts and everything just vanishes away. If somebody else gives the rad and the reply of that, it's as if there's still shak and doubt lingering in my head, and it doesn't go away. And it's a unique thing, and you've seen it and you've experienced it yourself. I'll go and ask this brother, okay brother, what do you think? Who's better? Now for all you football fans there, who's better? Is it United or Liverpool? And we all know about that, don't we now, isn't it? That's what you're all going to be saying to me, isn't it, brothers? Yes. So here is that it's a strange thing. People love football and they want them, but then you're never satisfied. No, brother, Messi is better. No, Ronaldo is better. Never. So let's take about the deen. Is that if the question, brother, I have a question. What is it? If I do such a thing, what will happen? They will give you, oh, it's a sin, brother. Do you not know? You're going to get punished. It's a zab, gunah, and that's it. Do tawbah now. You're going to be proper sinful, and you're going to hell if you don't do tawbah. And that is why it has been related, one of the very first hadiths in Bukhari Sharif as well, that again, look, the wisdom in Bukhari, one of the very first hadiths is about niyyah, the person who killed 99 people. And he also had a question in him. Now imagine how strange this is, that it's bad enough if you kill one person, bad enough if you've killed two persons, you murdered 2 or 3 or 4. This person has killed 99 people. Still in his heart is thinking, the question aroused in his heart is that, is there any maghfirah, is there any forgiveness for me? And that is the difference between what happens is that people of insight and ma'rifah and people of knowledge, is that scholarly person, what happened, he went to a scholar first. And I'm not actually belittling, please, if there are scholars here also, scholars who are listening, I'm not belittling, I'm just saying is that the beauty of awliya and people of insight. That is what I'm saying, is that ilm is a vehicle, but don't get stuck on the fact that this is it. It's just a vehicle to take you towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't know how to utilize that vehicle, then it's no use. Knowledge was supposed to be a fuel to take you somewhere, a vehicle to take you somewhere. If you now got stuck that I have the car, and you're looking at the car, oh, beautiful car. Look at that alloy, it's all wonderful. Oh, look at my alloy, oh, look at my spoiler, oh, look at my mirror, it's beautiful, right? Are you going to drive it? But I have a car, it's beautiful, isn't it? Nor do you know how to drive it, nor do you know how to actually drive it, nor do you know how to appreciate, nor do you take it, nor do you look after it either. So it's just sat there. So what happened that this person went to a scholar and he asked the question. Again, I say, why I'm saying this again, mutma'in. When you go to awliya, salihin, your heart finds peace and becomes tranquil that with the satisfied answer. So 99 people, all his bad deeds are transferred to you if he's gone, and all your good deeds get transferred to his. That's one person. So he's thinking that was for one person. What about for 2? What about for 3? He's got no chance. He has no chance. So ilm was telling him, logic was telling him, no, he will definitely be forgiven. He is definitely finished. No. He said, no, I don't, you need to do tawbah, but you should be happy that maybe Saza hasn't come to you yet. Really? Is that what you're going to say? So what he did, he also killed him. He killed him. This is a serial killer nowadays in terms of, we use this as a mass murderer. And obviously, unfortunately, we are renowned for those mass murderers in our area, so I won't mention anybody, so don't get scared here. So Hyde is very famous for mass murderers, as you know. As we've got Dr. Shahrul Shipman, who murdered 300 or so patients. We've got Rosemary West and others who murdered so many people. We have mass murderers in Hyde, but don't worry, I lived there. Do not worry, I'm just going to speak to you, so please don't get frightened or scared now, okay? So this is a mass murderer. He's actually been killing, slaying people. So he thought, I've killed 99 people, I might as well kill him as well. What difference going to make? God, what? He said, I'm not going to be forgiven, Cholo, I'll also kill him as well. Strange matter. That's 100 people he's killed, but yet still in his heart he's thinking, is there any forgiveness? Is there any maghfirah for me, even though I've killed him? And that is the position. Now, if we just pause the story here. Let's pause the story here. This is what me and you are going through. Not killing anybody, but I'm just saying is that we've sinned. We've sinned. Not once, not twice, again, and again. Repeatedly, maybe the same one. So it's like killing that same person. I'm not saying it's that level, but it's like I'm committing that sin again and again. Eventually you come to the state where thinking, oh Lord, what's difference does it make? I'm not going to stop. What's the point? But then you think, is there any forgiveness? Is there any forgiveness? This is the strange matter. Why I'm saying strange is that let's pause, because we're in a similar boat now. What I mean by this is that Shaitan first of all attracts to the sin. And then how he destroys you, not because of the fact that you committed the sin. It's not the fact that you committed. There's two ways, whether you're doing good or evil, two ways. Shaitan, what happens is that he attracts you to the sin. And then you committed the sin, you're not barbad, you're not finished because of that. But what he'll do is that he'll do his best to make sure that you don't do tawbah of the sin. So for example, you've done it so many times, so Shaitan says, you've done it so many times, what's the point? You're not going to give up. What is he doing? He's not stopping you from doing tawbah. He's encouraging you, don't do tawbah, what's the point? You're never going to stop. At that point, if that thought comes, no, this is Shaitan now actually doing this. It's the enemy. And then the thought that's coming, I want forgiveness. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is actually saying, calling you. It's a call from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the angels, through the medium of God gatherings, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to, oh my servant, come back. You're not finished. However many sins you've done, you're not finished. Come back to me. And then what happens is that when you do turn, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives in ways that you could not imagine. Now imagine, your sin surely cannot be as grave as this person, can it? Surely it cannot be as grave as this, whatever sin you're doing. You haven't killed 100 people, please, if you are, then don't mention it, but you haven't killed 100 people. Yes, you might have done this. Yes, you might have mispressed. Yes, you might have done X, Y, and Z. It's not as grave as this person who's killed how many? 100 people. Yet still his heart is asking, can I be forgiven? He has that hope. He has that hope that I can be forgiven. Why are you giving up on hope on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why is Shaitan hammering you in this month, especially in this month? Why are you letting him hammering you like a football and kicking you here and there, thinking you can't be forgiven? You can't be forgiven. So here is that person, despite knowing he's killed 100 people, he then went to another village and he heard there's some pious people who live there. Righteous people. So Might as well go there. Let's find out what do they say. And in his head, if they also tell me I won't be forgiven, he'll probably kill them as well. So that's what that doesn't matter. So he thought, okay, let me just go there. Let me find out. So he went there. Now this person who he asked, the difference is, look at the difference in the jawab, in the jawab that he gave, the reply that he gave. So he went and asked, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. How are you? I'm okay. And the person could see this person is in a state now. He's not really right. So he said, sit down. Take a rest. No, it's okay. Relax. Now what's happened? This is a person who knew, who has insight. He could see his death is about to come soon. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the insight that he is about to pass away. His maut is about to come. Death is about to come. So he said, how can I help you, brother? He said, I have killed 100 people, not 99, but 100 people. I just wanted to ask, is there any forgiveness for me? Is there any forgiveness? He said, not like this. We are always no people. He said, yes. Rasulullah seldom, never said no except for the kalima la. Only in la ilaha illallah, there is none worthy of worship. That's the only time he would use la. Otherwise, most of the time, he was never saying la. He always says naam. La in Arabic means no. So here is that he said, yes, you can be forgiven. He was shocked. The scholar said I couldn't be forgiven, but I've killed him anyway. Now all of a sudden this person I can be forgiven. How? How can I be forgiven? Really, can I be really forgiven? Hope. Creating hope. For he didn't know his death is about to come. So he said is that if you go in that village, there's a village there, really pious and righteous people live there. In other words, this very wise person, he's showing him is that take the steps. In other words, that take the steps towards piety, to the land of piety, to the people of piety, to the people of righteousness. Take that step, no matter what you've done. Make that niyyah, make that intention of doing good, of wanting good. Take that step. He took the step. For you have to show to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I am prepared to take that step. So he said, take that step. In that village there, some pious and righteous people live there. You stay with them and they'll show you how you can be forgiven. He said, okay, I'll get up. He quickly got up. As he started to walk, that is when the malaika started now fighting. Because why? His time is about to come. He's about to go. Now what happened? Let's pause at the point of taking that step to do good. What does shaitan do to us? So when we're doing sin, yes, he knows we're already doing sin, but how he tries to destroy us is that in sin, he tries to destroy us by what? Not for us committing the sin, but stopping us from doing tawbah from the sin. And when we're doing good, how does he destroy us? He corrupts our intention, wrecks our intention. Oh, I'm going to study. Oh, I'm going to recite. Oh, I'm going to give da'wah. And the intention is now all corrupt. What am I doing for? Who am I doing for? That is it. So all of them goes in vain. He tried to destroy us through that. So here is that the person is now there. He's seen the pious village. So what happens? The malaika of mercy and the malaika of wrath now come to Allah and say, Ya Rabbal Alameen, this is a person who's killed 100 people. We should go and take his spirit. Ya Rabbal Alameen, but look, this person wanted forgiveness. He's walking towards the area we should be taking. The angel of mercy was arguing, saying, no, we should be taking him. Allah says, pause, wait. When his soul will be extracted, when his soul is extracted, when the soul will be actually expiating, when he goes, land, is that point where he's taken, measure the distance from where he came from to where the pious village is. If the distance from where he landed, where he died, is closer to the pious people's village, the angel of mercy, you take him. If the distance is further, the angel of wrath, you take him. So what happened as he's walking? His spirit is about to now depart. He doesn't know what's happening. But the way our beloved teacher, again look at the marifah of awliya, the way our teacher describes Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh this hadith, they say in detail, they said is that he went down on his knees, fell on the floor, face down, and he stretched his arm to extend as much as possible towards the pious people's village. Imagine from the last point, he was doing all he could to get there. The reality was, the distance between him and that village was longer from the distance where he came from. So what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? He said, "O earth, you constrict." So the earth ate and constrict, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by His fazl and power enabled that person through His fazl and mercy to be closer, not further. In other words, there's such a hope for me and you in this hadith. Why is telling that is that never give up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you take those steps, whichever sin it is, be it alcohol, be it drugs, be it women, be it laziness, be it all these sleeping pills, be it also just being completely useless and whatever it is that people are calling you, doesn't matter. Be it fraud, be it whatever that sin is never give up hope. Like that person still wanted forgiveness, he still crawled, he used every ounce of his energy towards the pious village, and they said is that, the distance was literally just one handspan. The difference when the angel measured, just one handspan's length, that was the difference. That's all it takes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do what He is. Then when you will do your bit and you think it's not possible, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do the impossible for you. You just need to take that step and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do it. But shaitan will try to make you think it is not possible. Yes, nothing is possible for me and you. Nothing is possible if we rely on ourselves. But we have such a Lord, such a being, such a Rabb who has a power, unlimited power, unlimited forgiveness, unlimited mercy, that He can do anything, change anything. Nothing constricts Him. He can change the whole nature of things to suit you. And look at the stories. Sayyidina Ibrahim, what happened? They threw him in the fire. Nature of fire is to burn. What happens? The fire became cool. Countless of stories they can hear, they can read. So there in itself now is giving us hope. And really what I'm trying to emphasize here is that look, one was the reply of a scholar, another was the reply of awliya Allah. And the awliya Allah's reply gives mutma'in. Hence what I'm saying is, if you listen to the beloved masters, is that you listen to Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh, your heart finds peace and serenity when listening to them. Finds peace just by listening to them. Then when you ask, it is mutma'in. There's no need for me to ask anybody. It's like you become then a mujtahid, that's it. 100% I don't know that now, that's it. It's like at that question, if anybody comes to you now, you're the expert in that question now because you 100% understood what they said. That's how much clarity you have. That's the beauty and wisdom of awliya and salihin. If you keep their company, this is what it took when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought Ramadan and sent Ramadan. He waited 55 years for prophethood, revelation came. They waited 15 years. Sahaba had to prepare 15 years for the first Ramadan. We haven't probably got that time now, have we? We never thought about it like this. But here is that at least from Sha'ban, the Laylatul Barat that happened, is that we have 15 days, now it's less, maybe there are about another 10 more days left before Ramadan commences. So we can still prepare and get ready. Each we take like every year of those days, every day from day 1 of 15 Shaban to 16 Shaban becomes equivalent to the year of the Sahaba. You can be ready for the month of Ramadan. You can be ready, you can ready yourself. How you can start the process is, first of all, you got to want to. You got to want to be ready. You got to want to be actually changing, thinking that this Ramadan is going to be different for me. It's going to be not like any other Ramadan. If you're going to treat it as though this Ramadan, and you're already thinking, yeah, I can see the kebabs already. We're going to have a different menu. We're going to have a different thingy. Make sure we have some cocktails and mocktails, and make sure we have some juices and thingy. Definitely going to be the best Ramadan for iftar, yeah. If you are just thinking about food, you are Abdul Food. If you're thinking about drinks, you are Abdul Drink. If you're just thinking about resting and sleep, you are Abdul Sleep. But if you're thinking, I want Allah, you have to become Abdullah. If you want Allah, you have to become Abdullah. Now here is that how we can make the start. If you look at Nifs Shaban, first thing, you see one of the things that we don't do, we don't reflect. You probably do, but you try to put it off. What I mean by that is we don't reflect. Our mother of the belief, Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radhiyallahu anha, Ummahatul Mu'minin, our mother, she says clearly on the 15th of Shaban, she said that Rasulullah spent most of his nights in Baqi, Jannatul Baqi. He'd be spending time there making dua, prostration to Allah, and making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What ishara can we get from that? Like you see that many masajid, what they do is that they say, all right brothers, we're going to go to the Qabristan, go to the cemetery. What is that indicating to me and you? The indication to me and you is that if you, the first thing we're going to start doing, my dear brothers and elders and sisters who are listening, is that Nif Shaban is here, we've only got 15 days, now less than 15 days left till Ramadan comes. And we don't know if we're going to reach that. We can start the process of how? By looking at the Prophet and how did he actually do? One of the things that we can start the process is, my dear brothers and elders and youngsters who are listening and sisters who are listening, is that by Rasulullah going to Baqi, making dua there, he's giving ishara to his ummah, oh my ummati, begin by reflecting upon death and prepare for the hereafter. Get yourself ready for that. Prepare yourself for that. Death is approaching. Death is coming. It's inevitable that death is coming. So if that's the case, start reflecting, start changing, start thinking. What we're doing is that we don't think death is coming to me tomorrow. We're thinking death is going to come to me. For example, be honest. I'll be honest with you. When I was your age, I used to think like this. Okay, now be honest. Youngsters especially, now when I say youngsters, not the 50-year-olds, you think you're youngsters, you're not youngsters anymore. Especially Uncle Iqbal, he still thinks he's 20 now. We don't want him to say that. Okay, he'll tell you that, don't get deceived. He's not 20, he's actually 30. Okay, he's actually 30. Anyway, youngsters, put your hand up. Put your hand up if you think you're going to die tomorrow. Oh, good. Uncle Iqbal, you're not youngster. Okay, you're super young. How is that? You're super young. We can get that potion. Is somebody tapping me now? Is my time up? Is it? Anyway, so now let me ask you another question. Does this thought come in your head? You know, when I become 40, when I start getting white beard, when my beard goes a bit white, then I'll go to Hajj, do Bakka Tawbah, and then I'll change. That's it. Do whatever you've got to do now, then I'll change. Does this sound a bell? Does it resonate with you by any chance? No, I'm not. No, I don't have special powers. I'm reading your mind. Don't worry. You're all looking at me like this, Brother Qays. Did you just read? I don't have any of that. I'm not reading your mind, honestly. But put your hand up if along those lines. If you have this notion that I will change, but not now, later. Who put your hand up if you are like that? If you have that mindset. Okay, you're a bit too afraid now. Okay. Now, who thinks that if I get a white beard and then I'll go to Hajj? Who put your hand up if you think like that? Because I used to think like this anyway. I'll be honest with you. I used to think, yeah, I will change. When I get white beard, then I'll go, dude, I'll just go to the glass, like, Allah forgive me what I have done. Just forgive me. This is what we're thinking. This is what we're thinking. Until when you meet people like Shaykh Ahmad Dabagh, our beloved teacher, when they instill in you that, my son, is that there is no guarantee, let alone tomorrow, there's no guarantee that you can take the next step from here to there, that you live. Once it was asked to Sayyidina Abdul Aziz al-Dabbagh, these are Sayyidina Abdul al-Misri, rahmallah, and others, who was the Ghaus, but at that time Sayyidina Abdul Zubair was on training, they was asked, is that, what would you prefer? This question was asked to him, is that, for example, you see the saf here, there's two safs. So it was posed to him is that, let's see what you will say as well. Now I've given the answer, so it's not fair because you know the answer now. I won't ask him. But anyway, imagine from here to there, it was posed to him. So from this saf to this saf. So for example, from one step, you could say one step or two steps. From the position here now to the next saf, it was said to Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Rahimahullah is that if you, from this step to this step, I can assure you that if you take this step here and you get to there, you will die with Iman. You're guaranteed to die with Iman. You should die with Iman. However, if you were to take two more steps on the second saf, that's 4 steps, that you'll be the ghost of the time. Which step would you like? This one or the other one? Do you want to just die with Iman, or do you want to be the ghost of i.e. the high-ranking friend of Allah, special relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is the most closer to us on the face of the earth at that time? That is what the ghost is. Is that, so put your hand up, who would like to be the ghost? And no one? Seriously? Nice one, Khidr. Good boy. Khidr. Powers of the Ghost, Well done. Yeah, obviously you'd have to choose that, wouldn't you? Yeah? Yeah. He had to choose that, didn't he? So we've got one little boy here who said he wants to be the Ghost. Inshallah, may Allah enable him, maybe Allah by the namesake. So here is that it can be the Ghost if he goes there. And another, who wants to just go there and die with Iman? No, you can't have both now. Come on, you can't have both. Okay, we'll have you both anyway. Who would go the first option? You can call a friend if you want. Do you want to do 50-50? Call a friend? No? You can ask your dad if you want. No, is he there? Go on. What would you do? You want to be the ghost, don't you? Yeah, all the kids, they want to be the ghost. There you go. So here is that everybody is that most people will be inclined towards, I want to be. Now, maybe you're not understanding ghost and Iman. Let me just put it another way, is that here, there is £1 million if you take 4 steps, and there's £10 here if you take 2 steps. Now let's put it that way. There's £10 here if you take 2 steps, but if you take 4 steps, 1 million. Now which one would you choose? Everybody's saying 1 million, obviously it's a no-brainer, Brother Qays. We're very, very clever people. We know about money, but we don't know about ghosts and anything like that. I was wrong to pose a question like that. I had to just say money, isn't it? Oh, I don't know what you Boltonians say. What is it? Is it, I don't know, Fulus, is that what you call it? I don't know, anyway. Is that somebody else? So here is that you can have your money, £1 million, if you step there. Now everybody's going to go for the million, not for the £10 because it's value in there. But the thing is that what Sayyidina Abdul Aziz what he chose is that I'll take the first step. I'll take the £10. I'll take this. Why is that? He said is that There's guarantee I'll reach there, but there's no guarantee I'll reach there. By the time I take my third step, I don't know if I'm going to die. But at least I have £10 guaranteed in my pocket. Don't know if I'm going to get 1 million. Maut has come, and that's it. What will you do with that 1 million if you get it, if death has come? So here is that telling me and you what it is that we don't think about death, how close it is. As youngsters, what we think is that death is a long time away. This is it's a trap of shaitan, that what he wants to do is make you think that you live long, you've got long life, you're going to grow old, you're going to have a long, lustrous life with women and your wife and children and so on. You just need to go to the cemetery and go and see those graveyard, and there's different ages of 2-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 13-year-olds. What happened to them? You may have relatives who are young. Many grandparents have buried their grandchildren. Many mothers and fathers have buried their son. There is no tertib. There is tertib when you come from the al-Mi'raj to this world. There is an order. Father comes, then comes the son, then comes the grandchild. That's the order. But leaving this world, there is no tertib. There is no order. Anyone can go any point. That is the test of this world. But how? So now what we're saying is, going back, is that first thing we need to reflect on death. Know that death is actually going to come. And we need to reflect, and we need to start changing and thinking of death. Start thinking about death and prepare. If death was to come to me, what have I got? If death was to come to me, am I ready? Who are my people that I'm hanging around with? As Rasul Sayyidina Abu Dharr once I went to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, he asked and he inquired about that they were prophets and messengers. He said, Ya Rasulullah, my deeds are not like yours. He's complaining, my deeds are not like yours. I do love the pious and the righteous, but my deeds do not reflect it. Just look like me, myself, is that we may love them, but it's not like I can perform the amals that they're doing. Yes, I try my best to do the fara'id and the wajibat. That is what Sayyidina Abu is saying. He said, but my deeds are not like this. Who am I going to be with in the akhirah? Who will my hashar be with? He, alayhi salatu wasalam, Sayyidina Abu Dharr is actually asking that question of mine on your behalf. Because our deeds are not even comparable to awliya and salihin, let alone sahaba, let alone prophets and messengers. It can't even compare, no chance. It's not even worthy to be even presented, let alone be taken. But what did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say? He said is that you'll be with those whom you love. You'll be with those whom you love. So now reflect. This is all about Sha'ban. Sha'ban is about reflecting and analyzing. What I'm saying is that this is, for example, remember the car scenario I said. This is your MOT. This is your analyzing. This is for you to check your car and your vehicle. Is the tire okay? Is the oil okay? Do I have enough water? Is it that I love? Who is the center of my life? Who is the thing that moves me? Ask yourself that question, reflect and ask that. Is it the pious and righteous? Or is it the shaitanic people and the devilish people? Who are they? You need to reflect on that and think on that. So that's one of the things you can do. So then what happens? Reflecting on death, seeing who you are with, who you keep your company with, which gathering you hold. Are you keeping the gathering of good? Are you keeping the good gathering of the pious and righteous? Or are you keeping gathering of sinful people, destructive ways? The other thing that we can learn from the Nisf of Sha'ban that's just come past is that Sha'ban itself means separation. And in Nisf of Sha'ban, 15th of Sha'ban, Allah SWT is also doing separation as well. It's a night known as absolution, is that night of separation. Bara'at, the word bara'at means separate, to separate. So Allah SWT is separating the sinful people from His mercy, and Allah SWT is separating the pious from grief and huzn, from worry and distress. So what we have to do if we want to change and get ready for Ramadan is that we also need to do a separation. We also need to separate ourselves. Separate ourselves from what? From sinful people, from sinful places, from useless talk, from useless things and useless activities. Separate from that and come towards the oneness of Allah and His pleasure. Of the one central being who should follow, who should love and follow, and we should actually be coming to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and making Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala the center point of my life. Attaching myself to Him. You see, again, this word attachment, connection. Who are you connected with? You know, in business they say networking, connecting with people, isn't it? Well, who are you attached with? Who is your attachment? Because your attachment is going to dictate to you, isn't it? If you're connected, if you're attached to, let's say, some wealthy people, you know you can get wealth. You can tap into some wealth. If you're attached to some parliamentary people and the government, you know you can get some help from the governments, isn't it? So it's all about who your network is. Is that what we're saying here now is that if you are attaching to anything and anyone which is stopping you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, here's me and I am here, and what's happening is that through the attachment, what's happening is that I cannot get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now because there's attachment there. My friends are pulling me. I'm attached to my friends. My business people are pulling me. Partners are pulling me. My colleagues are pulling me. My girlfriend is pulling me. My brothers are pulling me. My business is pulling me. My dreams are pulling me. My aspirations are pulling me. If those things are hindering you and stopping you to go towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you need to cut and detach. And you need to now establish connection and attachment to whom? The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You need to detach from these attachments and attach to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam so he can connect you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to attach to the Prophet ﷺ, connect with him, make your connection to him. How will you do that? You have to make Rasulullah ﷺ the center point of your life. Fill your heart, fill your lungs and fill your heart and every single ounce of your body with the love of the Prophet, the remembrance of the Prophet, the following of the Prophet ﷺ. It's easy for me to say this, but you need to not just say it, you need to say it with action and deeds. There's no point in just saying it. It's easy. Hey, the worst thing, this is why I seldom like to do speeches. Why? Because it's easy to speak. It's easy to lecture. But the first person really, why I'm so severe is because I'm actually admonishing myself and reminding myself first and foremost. Is that I have to do this. There's no good if you brothers and sisters are all practicing and you're touching and you're benefiting and I am going to hellfire. You should be helping me. You need to help me and pull me. So it's a collective. We're all here. Not that I am actually here to tell you I'm better. No. I am saying that help me. I am helping you. Let's help one another to reconnect with our purpose, to reconnect with our objective in life, to reconnect with the being who's helped us and shown us who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, to reconnect with the Prophet in this month before Ramadan comes so that we can have a blissful Ramadan. We can have a blissful Ramadan. A Ramadan of bliss. A Ramadan of full of blessings. A Ramadan of mercy. A Ramadan of forgiveness. A Ramadan of expiation from the fire of hell. This is a bliss. So here is that first of all, think of death. Secondly, think of the gathering that you're coming with. All of this thing, one thing is analyze. Go home, analyze. What are you doing? Analyze yourself. Is there a sin? Sins when you do it actively with the body, swearing, shouting, that's easy to see, isn't it? He's sworn, that's easy. He's punched, that's easy. He's kicked, that's easy. He's actually behaved in a rude way, it's easy. This is action of the body. Harder to see is the sins inside. Harder to see the sins inside. But you yourself will know what those sins are. If you have a weakness for women, you know for having a weakness for women, why then put yourself in danger and be in a situation where you know you're going to fall prey to? If you have a weakness for drugs, why then go, and if you don't tawbah, why then go and be in a situation where you're going to be tempted and be pulled towards the drugs? If you have a weakness for alcohol, why then are you putting yourself in a position where you're going to fall? You know that weakness within you. Nobody else probably knows. You can probably hide it from everybody. Many people can hide their addiction from someone. Many people can hide their misery from people. Many of the people can hide the depression from people. People can be depressed and we can never know because they put a face. People can be addicted, we never know because they can cover it up. People can be actually completely in misery, we'll never know. But you know. You can't deceive yourself. You know. You know what your weakness is. So if you know your weakness, our beloved teacher, Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh, said, don't put yourself in a position where you're going to fall prey to. Get yourself out of it. Think of the tactics how you can avoid putting yourself in that position. You've been struck once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, million times, but don't do it again. Don't fall prey again. Think in this month, these days coming to before Ramadan, how you can get yourself ready and actually be ready so that in Ramadan you're not doing that. What I'm trying to say is that this is the MOT part now for your vehicle. You're assessing, is everything functioning? Is everything correct? So that when Ramadan comes, Ramadan is service. Ramadan is the month of service. Ramadan finish, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the view, enjoy the ride. So my dear brothers and elders, we really need to start taking heed and start taking lessons, for the days and moments are going. Days are passing, time is passing, myself, yourself included. We need to wake up and realize, where are we going towards? And we need to start changing. Jazakumullah jaza. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Life which you're not happy with and you think. So imagine what closeness and forgiveness you'd get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if today you change your life. So if you want to know how you can do tawbah sincerely and turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then a practical method, a step-by-step method, how you can follow the path of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and put the sunnah in your life and gain the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then come see myself and we can direct you to the right brothers who can help you start that path today. You can make that change now.
One thing, you know, as the brother is saying about changing, and if we are sinning, we're thinking we're losers, isn't it? Every single one of us are thinking we're losers if we're sinning. And our beloved teacher, Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh, they said is that no. Even in sin, you can be a winner. Actually, even in sin, you can attain pearls. Why? Is that when Sayyidina Adam was actually sent from the heavens, actually come down to the ocean of this earth, Shaitan thought that's it, he's completely destroyed now. He's going to be drowned and that's it, he's finished. But no, what happened? Sayyidina Adam, the way our beloved teacher Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh, they explained is that Sayyidina Adam was a mahir, he's an expert diver. He was able to dive into the sea of this world. And what happens when divers go right underneath in the ocean bed? They'll get pearls and bring it to the surface. Even despite the fact no prophets and messengers, they don't do any sins. It's a mistake. But by being sent on the face of the earth, he achieved a quality called tawbah. And through that is repentance. And through tawbah, he attained the pearl of tawbah. And through that pearl of tawbah, he is able to get what? The connection to a tawwab, the sifat and qualities of that tawwab. Through this, he attained the pearl of tawadu, humbleness. And so my dear brothers, like the brother is giving you encouragement, targheeb is trying to say, listen, who wants forgiveness? Who wants to break and remove yourself from the change of these diseases and desires that we actually fall in day and night? That is what he's saying. Jazakallah. Sorry.
A couple of more announcements before the zikr. One is that many people, when they come to the gatherings, they park their cars at the front, not realizing that it's a bus stop and a double yellows, and majority have now been booked. So please, next time you come, be a bit mindful. There's a lot of parking towards the bottom, proper car parks where you can pay for. So please, next week, try to park correctly and don't cause any harm to any other person. We're here to learn and benefit. How can we benefit if we're harming people outside and parking on the bus stop? So please try to be mindful next week when parking. And second announcement is, like you've heard, that Ramadan is around the corner, and we would like that for you all to have a beneficial Ramadan and not just be a Ramadan where all you get is hunger and thirst, but actually attain spiritual fruits and closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have a Ramadan workshop which is this Sunday, 12th of March. The location is Pakistan Community Centre, Longside. This is 481 Stockport Road, Longside, Manchester, and the time is between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. So that's Sunday, the 12th of March, Pakistan Community Centre, Longside, Stockport Road, time 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. If you want more information, come see myself. And inshallah, now we're just going to have a little short video again from our blessed teacher. And in this particular video, it's going to talk about one of the meanings of why we get tested, one of the reasons why we get tested. Everyone goes through different tests in life, but sometimes we don't really ponder on why Allah Ta'ala is doing that to us. Sometimes we think the opposite side, that, oh, why am I being harmed? Why is this happening? But sometimes we don't really understand the deep meaning of it. And now inshallah our teacher is going to explain to us that through a short video.
One reason, many a time, why tests, problems, difficulties, trials, they come on people, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to guide us back to Him. Ek wajah ye bhi hoti hai that the person or people or a nation is very, very happy what they have got. They are too much indulged in their blessings that they forgot the blesser, the one who blessed. And it's dangerous for them. They are going away. So Allah Jalla Majduhu sends a trial, a test, a problem, a difficulty to guide people back. लेकिन हमें तो यही बताया, this is that one of the reason, एक वजह जो मुसीबतें परेशानियां आती हैं इस वजह से कि बंदे को अल्लाह पाक वापस बुला रहा होता है। अब देखें ना, जहाँ कुरान मजीद में जहाँ ये बयान किया गया है, where it's mentioned about मुसीबा, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ, that you will be tested with different things, from fear, from actually loss of wealth, health, loss of money, people, health, etc., and other things. Allah, to what at the end, what was said, that the righteous people, what they do is they say, Inna lillah, we belong to Allah. It was Allah's anyway before, it was none. When was it mine, this thing? ये मेरी थी ही कब? मैं आपकी गाड़ी बारो कर लूं. If I borrow a car from you and after 10 days you say give it me back, I should be sad or I should be thankful? I should be complaining about you and be unhappy with you, or should be thankful that you let me borrow it for 10 days for free? Free bhi ho, not charging anything. But yes, that person who thinks, I have borrowed a car from you and I then came to this conclusion after 2-3 days, it is mine, then I will actually be in problem. When you will ask, I will say, oh, it is mine. I will be sad.
Inshallah, now we're going to the zikr majlis. Before we do that, and before I ask you to stand up, when you do stand up, please can you move a little bit more forward, because there's people from upstairs who want to come down and sit as well, because there's not much space upstairs, can they set up for food. So if nobody want to stand up, let a bit of blood run through their legs, and please come forward as close as possible, inshallah. So others who are upstairs can also come and benefit from the dhikr. Brothers want to come forward, please. Can you all come forward a little bit, please? And from the back, can you follow on as well, please? Okay, you can all sit down now. So inshallah, now we're going to move on to the dhikr gathering. So this is a gathering which is going to be a loud dhikr, where we're going to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're going to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're going to recite Durood Sharif to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So for those who may be here for the first time, the Ustadh is going to recite a few ayat, a few verses, praises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we're going to recite with them loudly. So this is the time for you to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever worries, whatever problems, whatever's in your heart and you want to express, this is the time to express that. And so the lights will be turned off, so you close your eyes to help with concentration. So don't be shy. You know, we're not shy when we're out in clubs and shisha places, you know, to speak to people. So why be shy now to communicate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So really connect and remember the three keys. Allah's watching me, Allah's with me, and Allah's hearing me. Jazakallah. Someone please turn the lights off.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد إن الله وملائكته وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد القولين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم محمد سيد القولين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد القولين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم محمد سيد القولين والثقلين والفريقين من عرب ومن عجم فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا 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 الله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله 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 Allah محمد رسول الله. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. 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 أنت خير الراحمين. أنت خير الراحمين. أنت خير الراحمين. أنت خير الرازقين. أنت خير الرازقين. أنت خير الرازقين. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. رب اغفر وارحم خير الراحمين. أنت خير الرازقين. أنت خير الرازقين. أنت خير الرازقين. أنت خير الرازقين. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين.
يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت.
يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت يا حي يا قيوم 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 لا إله إلا أنت لا هو العزيز الحكيم الحكيم وهو العزيز الحكيم وهو اللطيف الخبير وهو اللطيف الخبير وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد ذو الجلال والإكرام ذو الجلال والإكرام ذو الجلال والإكرام ذو الجلال والإكرام. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.
يا رب لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك ولعظم سلطانك يا رب لك الشكر كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك ولعظم سلطانك رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا كفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار يا الله يا رحمن يا مالك الدنيا الآخرة. We have raised our hands in supplication towards you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, whatever nisir that we had, whatever tilawat that was done, whatever naat was recited upon the Prophet ﷺ, whatever dhikr that we've done, Ya Rabbil Alameen, by your fazl and grace and your mercy, Ya Rabbil Alameen, please accept this majlis of ours, Ya Rabbil Alameen, and send this as a reward upon the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Rabbil Alameen, and with the wasilah of the Prophet, and send this as a reward upon all the Prophets and Messengers, upon all the awliya and salihin, and upon all the Muslim Ummah from Sayyidina Adam to now who passed away with Iman, Ya Rabbi, please bestow upon them, raise their status and rank in Jannah, Ya Rabbil Alameen, remove any difference them and in the grave, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Especially send this as a gift to our brother Shafiq, Ya Rabbil Alameen, raise his rank in Jannah, Ya Rabbil Alameen, give him even more proximity, even more nearness to our beloved teacher, to the Mashaykhs, to you, Ya Rabbil Alameen, and to Rasul, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, Al-Ghadna Al-Akhirah. Ya Allah, what can we do? We have wasted our days and nights, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ramadan is coming, we don't know if we're going to reach, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to reach Ramadan, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to be ready for Ramadan, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Whatever days and nights we have got left, Ya Rabbil Alameen, help us to prepare ourselves, really take heed of what has been said, Ya Rabbil Alameen, and let us rid of the evils and those things which is hindering us to get towards you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ramadan is such a blessed occasion, blessed month, Ya Rabbil Alameen, where all your mercy transcends, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to be of those who are in the state of mercy upon you, falling upon us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, we don't need to wait to Ramadan. Your mercy is endless and vast, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Shower your mercy upon us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Shower your forgiveness upon us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Shower your help upon us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, we are losing our battle with shaitan and nafs, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to defeat shaitan and nafs, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Whatever weakness that we have, every single one of us, whatever weakness that we have, you know better, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Even sometimes, Ameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, Malik al-Akhirah. Help us to decorate our inner with the beloved, with our tongues, our eyes, and everything to be decorated in His Sunnah, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, this is the month of Your beloved, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to be connected to Him, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to be connected so that we can connect to You in the month of Ramadan, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Malik al-Akhirah, for all those brothers and sisters who are ill, who are bedridden, who have got any physical or spiritual illnesses, whatever illness they have, Ya Rabbil Alameen, You are the Shafi'i, grant Shifa come to all of them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Whichever brothers and sisters going through problems and difficulties in their life, Ya Rabbil Alameen, any lawful hajat and needs that they have, Ya Rabbil Alameen, please fulfill the lawful hajat and needs, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Remove those difficulties from their lives, Ya Rabbil Alameen, set at ease their tasks. Those of brothers and sisters who have any court cases against them, Ya Rabbil Alameen, please settle their affairs and make it easy for them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, our brothers and sisters who are in college and universities, Ya Rabbil Alameen, they're preparing for the exam, enable them all to be successful in the exams, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help them, give them knowledge and understanding, Ya Rabbil Alameen, make it easy for them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, help us to respect the elders and help the elders to have compassion with the youngsters, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, help us to do a khidmah of our parents who are still alive, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to appreciate them, to love them and look them with mercy and love like they used to look us with mercy and love, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, help us to tend and serve our beloved Master in whatever way we can, Ya Rabbil Alameen. If it means to open the door, to clean the dawah, whatever way, Ya Rabbi, please choose us to be of aid and service to them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Being service to them is being service to You, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Malik al-Akhirah, give a long umar khidr to our beloved teacher, Shaykh Ahmad Dabbagh, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Grant the shifa kamila kul, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Any difficulty, any pain, Ya Rabbil Alameen, we ask You, we beseech You by Your sifat and qualities that You love, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya we ask You by the sifat and wasil of Your beloved Messenger, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ya Rabbil Alameen, that in every angle, in every dimension, every way, Ya Rabbil Alameen, enveloped in Your protection, Your comfort, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Your ease and mercy, Ya Rabbil Alameen, and don't let even any little bit of harm or any prick of a needle to actually hurt them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim, they Your beloved who day and night conveying Your message, Ya Rabbil Alameen, to the whole corners of the world. Ya Rabbi, even in this state, they're still going to actually convey the message. Ya Allah, We are your sinful servants, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to ease that burden upon them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, help us to be sincere students of theirs, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to be true lovers and followers of them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us to learn to be united in the love, Ya Rabbil Alameen, so that we can be united in the love of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ya Rabbil Alameen, so that we can be united in your love, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma inna nas'aluka hubbaka wa hubba man yuhibbuka wa amal ladhi balaghna hubbaka, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala khayri khalqihi Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Ameen bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.